What's happening, Dominique? What's happening? What's happening, my peoples? What's happening? Okay, so yeah, check this out. Okay, so the ancients already had internet, right? The ancients already had internet, and they say that we're connected to the Ethernet. Yes, but I'm talking about internet like we have today. And the reason why the ancients already had internet was because, first of all, there's nothing new under the sun. First of all, second of all, as far as the internet, right? What they do is they use a chip and they store data on that chip, and you could store it's like, man, a plethora of data on that chip, so that you could use the data for whatever and so on and so forth, right? But when you think about it, when you think about the mechanics of the body, right, and you think about the mechanics of the pineal gland is a little stone, but is able to hold ultra amounts of data, right? And when you think about your pineal gland as being a stone, being able to hold ultra amounts of data and connect you to different dimensions, different universes, and so on and so forth, when you look at a stone, a crystal, right? The crystal, and I'm talking about the crystals that you usually put in the sun so that it can go ahead and harness energy and so you could use spiritually. When you look at a crystal actually stores in large amounts of data from the sun, right? And it communicates with not only you, but everything around it, right? If you take, for example, I just listened to a video where they were talking about uh, Atlanta being covered in granite, right? Atlanta being set on a mountain of granite, and when that sun hits the granite, right, it raises the vibration, and he was comparing it and associating with the people from Atlanta and why Atlanta was so different. Atlanta was um, it was so high vibrational and so much talent, so much just magnificent things come out from Atlanta. And he was saying, and he was mentioning that it came from the granite, associating with the solar energy hitting the granite, and that intelligence of the granite communicating with the people. Now, with the ancients, and I like to use ancient Kemet, right? With the ancients, they already had internet because they were using crystals and basically communicating with each other through the crystals. Not only communicating with each other through the crystals, just like how we communicate with each other through the chip, right? They were communicating with each other, and they were communicating with beings in different parts of the solar system, different parts of the universe. This is why they mentioned that our, our ancient ancestors were communicating, or ancients were communicating with different extraterrestrial beings, right? Mind you, we're terrestrial beings as well, but they're communicating with different extraterrestrial beings that were from other planets, and they were visiting this planet through that communication. They had technology that was so advanced, but here's the thing about it. The technology that they were using that was so advanced is still here. It's still here. It hasn't gone anywhere. So the internet that we're using that we think is advanced, and believe me, technology is about to advance even more. The technology that's being used today is nothing compared to the technology that was being used back then, because they were at a higher vibration. But the technology that was being used back then is still here today. See what I'm saying? So the internet back then was much more advanced than it is today. And crystals were being used. But now with the information, they say that there's the hundreds of thousands of scriptures that were basically burned down so that we wouldn't have access to this information. Now, if you think about it, scriptures right? There's information within these scriptures, but there was also information in these crystals that they were using, just like how there's information on this data that you can actually save on the chips, right? Like, for example, YouTube, you can actually post a video on YouTube and it will stay there forever. For as long as it'll stay there forever. And people will have access to it all over the internet. It will stay on the internet forever. So imagine the crystals that they had for the internet that they were using back in the day. They had information from way back. I'm talking about thousands, hundreds of thousands. I'm talking about way back. They had information in these crystals, and who knows, they may have destroyed these crystals, but they definitely had hidden these crystals somewhere, someplace, right? These crystals may be being used today, who knows? But I could tell you what, if you look into the Black Knight satellite that Forbidden Knowledge was talking about, the Black Knight satellite, there is a satellite made out of rock that is orbiting planet Earth. And they say that this is used as a telescope, not a telescope. It is used as a, whatchamacallit, as a satellite, right? So you have beings that are communicating with us through this satellite, okay? And that is supposedly probably even watching us through this satellite. Now, I'm not too sure about that, but I know for sure, or they're watching us through their communications. I know for sure they're communicating with us through this satellite, right? And who's to say our ancestors didn't put that satellite, right, from since way back to communicate with us, especially since since they knew this age was coming again, right? From the age of Leo to the age of Aquarius, 13,000 years. But that doesn't exempt the age of Aquarius before that, which was 26,000 years, right? Could you only imagine the technology that was around then? And all we're doing right now, we just entered the age of Aquarius, so we're going back into high velocity technology, right? So just food for thought. Food for thought, man. Just think about that one. And with that being said, man, like and subscribe. And apart from that, stay up, stay great, stay in bliss. Peace. Stay tuned. I got another video coming.